brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's The Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. Ken Coleman, #1 best-selling author, Ramsey personality, and host of the runaway hit show Front Row Seat on the Ramsey Networks. He's my co-host today. Brianna is with us in Washington, D.C. Hi, Brianna. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
So I'm a single mom living in D.C., and I've just been in survival mode over the past few years, just trying to get things done. But I'm in a space where I'm trying to clean up my debt. I want to buy a house in the next 2 years, but I know I have a lot of debt that I need to clean up, and learning and figuring out like how to save and just move forward so I could give my children better opportunities in the future.
Good for you. Well, that's good motivation. Cool. So what's your income?
So I make $80 from my job, yes, $80,000.
Your day job, were you saying? Does that mean you have another one?
Well, lately I've been doing some training, consulting work on the side, but it's very sporadic.
How much have you made doing that?
Last month I did a 6-day workshop for an organization. I received $3,000.
Cool. I like it. All right. How old are your kiddos?
I have a 5 and a 7-year-old.
How much you get in child support?
0.
Why?
I filed for child support, but due to his job at the time he was serving, there was no proof of like income in a sense, and so they technically said that I owe him. I'm
sorry, the job he was serving. What do you mean?
A serving job at like a restaurant.
Oh, okay. As opposed to serving time. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Or in the military, you could serve there. Okay. All right. How much debt you got, kiddo?
So in credit cards and like my car, I have about 30,000.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not including my student loans. That's 100,000.
Yay!
So yeah.
What is your degree in?
I know, right? Unfortunately, it's in psychology and community psychology. The undergrad that I went to was a private institute, and I didn't do too great in high school, and so it was kind of very few choices. And so, yeah, I ended up with a whole bunch of debt. So I have 2 degrees, but 100,000.
Well, I mean, there's nothing easy about the math you're giving me, but it's not doable. But you're not buying a house in 2 years unless something changes dramatically, because you're not going to be out of debt in 2 years. You're not. I mean, $120,000, $130,000 in debt. That'd be $60,000 a year. You make 80 and got 2 kids. I don't think we're going to put $60,000 a year on debt. Do you?
No.
Unless you get a whole bunch more of these workshops on the side, which I love that idea, but I don't think we're going to get that many more. So, I mean, let's pretend that it takes that we put $30,000 a year on it. Okay, it takes 4 years. If we put $40,000 a year on it, it takes 3 years. Okay, but that's $40,000 making 80 in D.C. with 2 kids is beans and rice. You're going to be doing nothing for 3 years except getting out of debt. How much is your car debt? You broke it. You put it with the credit card.
This month is my last payment. This car is my last payment, so I paid.
It's your last what?
Payment.
You have 1 payment left.
Yes.
Oh, so it's almost gone.
Yep.
Good.
So
okay. So you have 30,000 in credit cards, basically.
Yes.
Okay. And that's because you're not budgeting, not paying attention. You're raising 2 kids without child support. And hey, did he ever go get a job?
He did, but it's very inconsistent. So every time I go file, it's like he doesn't have anything. Yeah. And so we had an agreement that he will give a little here and there. And I guess I'm in a space where I'm trying to still give my children like swimming lessons and things like that. And so I'm realizing that I have to.
Well, you got $100,000 in student loan debt. And you got $30,000 in credit card debt because you've been doing swimming lessons and not getting child support. So something's going to shift here, kiddo. You can't keep doing everything and get a house. You can't keep doing everything. This debt's going to follow you around for 10 years. If you keep doing exactly what you've been doing, you're going to keep getting what you've been getting. Agreed?
Yes.
So I'm a rip the Band-Aid off guy. I don't peel them off slow. And so I would, if it's me, I'm going to work like a maniac. I'm going to get some help with family on the kids, pick up as many of those side gigs. Those things were promising. I like the sound of that. And, I'm going to sell everything in sight. We're not going out to eat. If we do outside activities, they're going to be very, very few and very limited. But you can't live like you're making 180 with no debt because you're not. Mm-hmm. You can't keep living like this. Okay, so the kids, by the way, will live without every stinking kind of activity out there. Okay, lots of kids grow up not having done a lot of that stuff and do it without counseling.
Yeah, I'm curious, what are you doing for a living right now? What's your professional role?
I'm a program manager, so I create post-secondary programs for a small D.C. charter school district.
Yeah. I'm going to really challenge you. Dave gave you everything you need to hear on cutting, but you've got to make some more money, and you've clearly proven, listen, somebody pay you $3,000 over 6 days. You've got some real value, and I think you're going to have to set your sights on, I got these 2 degrees in psychology. You've done some stuff here. I just think you need to start to look at where can I with some hustle, connecting with people, can I raise my income by $30,000 to $50,000 in the next 6 months?
Then you get out of debt in 2 years.
That's the game. You got to get more income. I think I think you got the opportunity to make more than 80, and you've shown some gumption, and I applaud you for that. But I do want you to set your sights higher. You're in a small charter school situation. There's just not a room for growth there. So I'd like to see you, if nothing else, replace the 80,000 in a place where there's room to grow. That's the goal for you, especially as a single mama.
Yeah. Okay. So here's the way to remember all this stuff, okay? If we took the math that you're on right now and we don't change a single thing, then you're stuck. The good news is life's not a snapshot. Mm-hmm. It's a film strip. And the next frame, there's going to be a change. In the next frame, there's going to be a change. In the next frame, there's going to be a change. That's a film strip, right? And so the change could be good or bad. But there's always going to be a change. There's going to be a change in the next frame. So what we're saying is let's plan that on the expense side. Let's plan that on the income side. And every time this thing clicks again and there's another frame, it gets a little better, a little better, a little better, to where 5 months from now, you're telling a completely different story with your math, with the arithmetic, than you are with right now because of your spending and because of your searching out career. I mean, you've never even looked probably, but you might land something making 130. I don't know. I have no idea. But I do know the math you're giving me right now is tough. It can be done, but it's not going to be done in 2 years. And you can get there, but it's going to be a crawl and then a walk and then a jog and then a run.
Let's give her, Kelly, Find the Work You're Wired to Do. It comes with the Get Clear Career Assessment. I think it's going to show you a much better future. So hang on. We'll take care of that for you.
Let's face it, health insurance today is more complicated than ever. The system isn't built to help the average person understand, and it leaves too many families unprotected. That's why you need my friends at Health Trust Financial. They aren't just brokers, they're trusted health insurance advisors who have been helping families like yours for over 20 years. You don't have to navigate it alone. The experts at Health Trust Financial listen to your needs, work to understand your family situation and budget, then help you choose the health insurance plan that's right for you. That's why they're Ramsey trusted and why we've worked with them for 2 decades. Look, medical debt is the #1 cause of bankruptcy in America today. One hospital visit can wipe out your savings and undo all your hard work. So health insurance isn't optional. It's part of your financial defense plan. Health Trust Financial knows their stuff, and they're the only health insurance provider I recommend. So get clear about health insurance plans and get the coverage that's right for you at healthtrustfinancial.com. Phone number here is 888-825-5225. Valerie's in Minneapolis. Hi, Valerie. How are you?
Hi, I'm good, thanks. How are you guys?
Better than we deserve. What's up?
Great. Well, I'll try and keep it quick. I had a question. My husband and I were talking about an annuity that I purchased after the sale of a property a few years ago. My advisor recommended that we buy this $25,000 annuity. This was before we were married. And I was wondering, in baby step 2, would you treat that kind of like, in the same category as insurance or something like that, where we just get rid of it to help us knock down that debt in baby step 2?
Well, I would certainly learn more about it to make the decision. How long have you had it?
I bought it in 2021, and it was supposed to mature when I turned, I think, 65. I believe it's a variable rate annuity, and it was supposed to be like a guaranteed payout or something like that, starting at retirement.
Yeah. So a variable annuity is mutual funds inside of an annuity, which gives you a guarantee on the principal. You'll never lose principal, and you'll have a minimum return on it, which you would have gotten both of those things anyway had you stayed in until 65, because you're not that old. The trick with this is they also have a surrender charge. And what I'm trying to figure out, you're probably still, usually they're gone by 7 years, maybe 5 years, and you're only 4 in. So you may have a huge surrender charge if you cash out early. I don't know, but you may have. And if that's the case, we're probably not going to cash it out now. But I am questioning, how old are you?
I'm 38.
Yeah, okay. Your advisor is not a financial advisor. Your advisor is an insurance agent. So you need to change, because they don't.
I'm definitely open to that.
Yeah. No one sells this stuff to a 34-year-old except insurance agents. Sometimes a financial advisor will sell a variable annuity, but never to a 34-year-old. It would be very, very unusual. Usually the reason is that insurance agents can't sell mutual funds. They don't have a securities license, so this is how they get around it. They got you into mutual funds inside of a variable annuity, because this is the only product they could sell that was a real investment. And it's actually not a horrible investment, but except for the fact that you're trapped in it now, and probably with a surrender charge. So I want you to get all the information together and go to one of our SmartVestor pros and sit down with them, and let's learn about what the surrender charge is. The surrender charge will tell you whether to tap the brakes or cash it. If the surrender charge is minor, take it and cash it out and use it on your baby step 2, right? But if the surrender charge is half of what you put in, or 25% of what you put in, and you can wait 3 years and it goes away, meanwhile it is going up in value, then there's no reason to take that huge hit.
Got it.
So just kind of analyze it that way and look at the risk return on it, and that'll help you move in that direction. So just go to RamseySolutions.com. We're not in the investment business. We don't sell investments, okay? We teach. We're teachers. And stir up trouble. That's what we do. So, but we do have folks in the insurance world that we recommend, Zander Insurance and property and casualty folks in the Ramsey Trusted side. We do have people in the investment world to help you sit down. Ken uses one. I use one. We call them SmartVestor pros, and they're people that we have vetted and that we are comfortable with and that have the heart of a teacher, that are actual financial advisors. They actually can sell mutual funds for your Roth IRA, do your 401k rollover, help you set stuff up and get it going, and sit down with you and look at your overall situation.
It's a very good point. I just would caution our large audience in a situation like this, before you sign on to a financial product, make sure that you are getting the pros and cons, okay, from multiple sources. The internet's going to give you pros and cons, but talk to real professionals. So if you sit down with somebody like this is in insurance, go sit with somebody who doesn't sell that product and learn enough, to Dave's point, that you actually understand what you're doing. This is what happens. People just get sold and they go with the first thing that they get pitched.
Well, the problem is that investing falls in the heading of something I don't understand for most people. And so I'm intimidated. And then to add to that, sometimes people in the investment world unscrupulously use that to their advantage and just go and basically adopt an intimidation sales technique.
Yep.
And go, well, I know you don't understand, but I do this for a living, and it's the arrogant type of a thing, right? So anytime someone in the investment world and the money world drops their glasses on the end of their nose and drops that kind of professor, I'm going to talk down to you posture, fire their butt right then. So just look at them and go, oh, we're done. We're done. We're so done. We're not even going to have a clean breakup. You're just getting out of my house right now, okay? Because their job is not to talk down to you. Their job is not to do it for you. Their job is to teach you. And by the way, most of you have more money than they have. So you're sitting there with $500,000 and this guy's driving a $100 Toyota, okay? So, most of the time that's what's going on. So you just don't need to take crap off of these people. Their job is to put these investing things into a lingo where you can understand it. And if they sound like Charlie Brown's teacher, even if they're trying, doesn't matter. You got to get rid of them. They have to be able to explain this in a way where you, to your point, Ken, understand what you are doing with your freaking money that you got with the sweat of your brow. And don't you dare act like you're going to give me attitude. I'll smack you sideways into Sunday. I mean, no possible way you're going to pull that crap. Insurance people do it. Sometimes real estate people do it. They're not the worst though. Investment people, and they just, and so what happens is that, then they can sell them whatever they want to sell them. Yeah. Now, again, this product that she bought is not horrible.
Right.
It's just inappropriate for a 34-year-old.
Exactly.
So the variable annuity is a mutual fund inside of an annuity. The annuity protects it from taxes. It grows like a 401k, a traditional IRA. It grows without paying taxes till you take your money out. The only downside is when you take your money out, it's taxed at ordinary income, not at capital gains, which is triple what most of you are going to pay in taxes. So the taxes on the growth are very, very high. Also, you're charged not only a mutual fund fee, but you're charged the annuity fee, and this is where their commissions come from, right? And so nothing wrong with that, but you got doubled up on the fees. It's not the end of the world because they're not super high, but they're not great. And also that you could get these features. There are 3 or 4 primary features for a variable annuity, a mutual fund inside of an annuity. Primary feature number 1, they will give you a guarantee of your principal if you leave it alone 5 or 7 years. Okay? Well, 97% of the 5-year periods in the stock market's history are up. So that's not much of a guarantee. Whoop-de-doop-de. But it made you feel good if you're a scaredy cat. I'm scared about the market. I'm just so scared. If you go in telling people that, they're going to go, oh, well, we can put you in a variable annuity and protect your principal. But you're getting the same thing, but just by hanging out for 5 to 7 years, okay? The second thing is they'll guarantee you a 5 or a 6% rate of return. Well, the stock market has averaged 11% for 75, 80, 90 years, okay, since its inception, the S&P has. So if it's averaged 11 to guarantee you 5 or 6 is whoop-de-doop-de. You can get no guarantee, but you got a guarantee, okay? So I know I'm at least going to get this, and I'm at least got my principal protected. But what it does is if you're scared and you don't learn enough about how the market moves before you buy, then the variable annuity gives you some comfort. The third thing it does that is actually more legitimate than the other two is you can name a beneficiary, and it passes outside probate, so there's no probate tax on it in your state. And it does not avoid federal estate taxes, but that's not a problem for most people anyway now. With the current Trump limits, most people, you get $25 million without taxes on federal, okay? But if you're under $25 million, you're not got federal. But on state, you can avoid it with this because it has a beneficiary element to it because it's technically an insurance product. So it works like insurance. It goes directly to the person outside of the estate. So that's actually a nice little touch if you care. By the way, I'm 64. The number of variable annuities I own is precisely 0. These days, business as usual is anything but. Tariffs make trade policy a moving target, supply chains are squeezed, and cash flow is probably tighter than ever. So if your business can't adapt in real time, you're in a world of hurt. That's why you need NetSuite by Oracle, trusted by more than 42,000 businesses, including Ramsey Solutions. You need to see what's happening, what's stuck, and what's costing you, and how to fix it. And NetSuite is the #1 cloud-based business management suite because it helps your business make the right decisions fast. It brings accounting, financial management, inventory, and HR into one place so you're not left shuffling a dozen different spreadsheets. That gives you the visibility you need to make quick decisions based on actionable data. And NetSuite AI automates everyday tasks so your team can focus on strategy. It's one system for full control and no guesswork to tame the chaos. And right now, if you're leading a business doing more than $1 million in annual revenue, download NetSuite's free ebook, Navigating Global Trade, 3 Insights for Leaders at netsuite.com/Ramsey. That's netsuite.com/Ramsey. Nick is in Boston. Hey, Nick, how are you?
Hey, how you doing today?
Better than I deserve. How can we help?
Awesome. So I just had a quick question. I love the show, by the way.
Thank
I just
you.
started listening to you guys. So my wife and I, just a little context, we're 33 years old, and we're on baby step like 4, 5, and 6,
Good.
somewhere in between there.
Good for you.
We had a question. Thank you. We have $150,000 in stocks from her old job that she's not in anymore, and we were wondering if it was worthwhile to put that on the principal of our home.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I figured. I'm in a little debate with my family right now.
Well, I don't know why your family gets a vote.
Yeah,
It's your money.
So, yeah, I agree.
So here's the thing. Here's a couple things on this to help you know that my suggestion is right. Here's why I'm telling you this. There's 2 reasons. One is if you reverse engineer some of these decisions, and the Harvard Investment Newsletter calls this sunk cost analysis. Okay? So reverse engineer it and say, if I had the opportunity to borrow, given my state of mind today, I'm working baby steps 4, 5, and 6, which means you're putting 15% of your income into retirement, you're doing something on kids' college, and you're paying anything you can find reasonably on the house as baby step 6 to pay off the house early. That's the stated goals of 4, 5, and 6. You know that, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay. So if that's where your head is, and you had the opportunity to borrow $150,000 on your home to buy stock in your wife's old company, you would never do that.
No, we wouldn't.
So keeping it is the exact same thing, only in reverse. It's
right.
as if by not cashing it and paying it on the house, it's as if you borrowed on the house to buy it, mathematically. Does that make sense?
Right, yeah.
So
so
that's
the
one
only thing.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say the only thing is right now we have an 18-month-old and another child on the way. So our budget is very tight right now, where we're kind of like losing about $500 a month. So I didn't know if people were saying it's just like a backup in case anything were to happen, that we would have that money.
You have an emergency fund of 3 to
potentially
6 months of expenses?
Correct. So we have $30,000 in an emergency fund, and we have $100,000 in like a high yield money market account.
How much backup do you need, the great Walinda? I mean, what are you doing? Some kind of high wire trapeze act? You got $280,000 in backup. This is insanity.
Yeah. I agree. I would like to pay the principal down. And
okay, so how much do you owe on your home?
So we owe $329, and our interest rate's 2.875.
Okay, so here's what I would do if I woke up in your shoes. Okay. Mm-hmm. Now, I currently own about $650 million in real estate. That's my point of perspective, and I started from being broke, okay, after having lost everything. If I woke up in your shoes, I would put $250,000 down on that house and have a $30,000 emergency fund by the end of the day, because I know that the data tells me, not only in my own life, but the 10,167 millionaires that we studied, that the millionaires that became millionaires starting from nothing, which is 89% of them, that's 9 out of 10 in America, became millionaires starting from nothing. Here's what they did. They paid off their house early and used the increased cash flow to build wealth, and they systematically and steadily invested year after year after year after year in their 401ks and their Roth IRAs and good mutual funds. So when we run into a millionaire that's 47 and they've got $1.7 million in net worth, it's typically $700,000-$800,000 paid for house, $700,000-$800,000 in their 401k. Mm-hmm. And that's not your broke relatives with an opinion. Those are millionaires.
Yeah. So we're only doing 5% in our 401k because my wife's a stay-at-home mom, and I only make about like $85 a year. So,
okay, I'm sorry. I made a mistake. I thought you said you were doing baby steps 4, 5, and 6, and you're not. So you're going to have to do that before we have a discussion. And if you want to beef up your emergency fund to $40,000 or $50,000 even just to be crazy, that's okay. But $280,000 is moronic. That's just ridiculous. Okay? And you guys need to get your budget tightened up. If you have zero debt, which I'm now questioning if you do or not, except your home, and you're putting 15% of your income away for retirement, you ought to have room in your budget, regardless of the daycare issue. So something else is wrong. So, dude, you're going to have to dial in and do the stuff we're talking about in order for us to say you're doing the stuff you're talking about. And you're not. So we got to figure that part out. But the reason is you guys have been piling up cash over on the left. So that tells me you're making money and you're good savers. You're just crummy at selecting where, because you're taking advice from broke relatives. So, okay. Guys, if broke people are making fun of your financial plan, it's like fat people making fun of your diet, okay? Come on. You got to think through this. It's just silliness. If you walk in and you hire a personal trainer and they're 450 pounds, you made a mistake, okay? It's a problem. And so you've got to go, it's like these people that say, I'm a life coach, and they've never had a life. So that's a problem, okay? So you should actually have some background, some experience, some track record, some what we call social proof to move forward.
Yeah, something's off. I'd love to see their budget, because for them to be able to stack away that much cash and still say he's $500 in the red every month, just a couple of things are off, and I think it's got to be some fundamentals. I don't think it's crazy living.
No, obviously not crazy living, because they couldn't save that kind of money.
Yeah.
But something's going. They're probably chunking money in there instead of doing their baby step 4 properly, which is 15% of your household income, not counting the match, going into retirement. That's baby step 4, which, by the way, if you start that at 33 years old and you have an average household income, when you get to 67, you're going to have on average somewhere around $9 million just in that one account. If you just save 15% of your income for 25 or 30 years, if that's all you do, okay? And that's if you never get a raise, which if you don't get a raise for 30 years, you're like a loser, okay? So, I mean, seriously, this is, this is a wealth building process that bar none, but you've got to actually do it. Mm-hmm. It's not a theory. All right. AJ's in Bowling Green. AJ, what's up?
Hey, how's it going today?
Great. How can we help?
Okay, so I'm 70. I just retired. I have 2 adult children, and I'm trying to figure out. Up to this point, I have not got a will. And after going to about 10 funerals in the last 6 months, I figure it's about time to actually do something. But I can't figure out if I need a will or a trust.
A will.
I had one guy tell me I didn't. A will?
Yeah, you need a will. Kentucky doesn't have an inheritance tax, dude.
Okay.
You got zero inheritance tax. There's nothing to dodge there. There's no probate tax. So you're going to leave the money to your kids, right?
I am.
Yeah, you don't need a trust. You need a will. And so you can do a really simple, quick, easy will at mamabearlegalforms.com, and you can have it done before you lay your head on the pillow tonight, which, AJ, you got to get this done.
I know.
Those funerals are God's way of winking at you. You know, I'm the same way. I'm 64. I go to a lot of funerals. Yeah. So it's like, yeah. You got to get your stuff done, man. Because if you don't, it's all going to be screwed up. Now, what's your net worth? How much is your net worth?
Okay, it's between three. Here's my breakdown, and it's real simple. I got a rental house that's paid off that's worth about $220. A condo I live in, I've always lived below my means, is $120. I got $50,000 in savings and $30,000 in paid off cars, and no debt other than a small payment on this condo.
Well, you're in good shape. You're going to be fine. You're going to be able to eat. That's a good thing. But you need to make you a little list called a will, your last will and testament, dude. If I were you, I'd jump on Mama Bear Legal Forms. With your estate size, it's not a problem to use that. It's going to lead you right through it. You'll be done in a couple of hours, and you never have to think about it again.
Okay, Rachel, the internet officially knows too much about all of us.
So much, George. I mean, our names, our addresses, even our relatives' names. And what's crazy is even if you opt out, data broker websites can still get your info.
Don't like that. No. And just a year ago, get this, the average person had about 300 pieces of personal data floating around online. Now it's over 600. It has doubled in a year.
You guys, that is so concerning because that info then can be used in phishing scams, impersonation, and even harassment. So that's why George and I both use and love Delete Me.
Yes, Delete Me scrubs your personal info from hundreds of these data broker sites, not just once, but all year long. And there's real privacy experts behind the scenes doing this, not bots. So this is digital hygiene we all need.
We all need it. And then they will send you a detailed report showing exactly where they found your data and what they removed. And you can even request custom removals if you have something specific you want them to look out for.
Exactly. And this is not being paranoid. This is staying protected. And so far, Delete Me has removed my info from 240 listings and saved me 94 hours of time it would have taken me to do it.
I love it. And you guys, in a world where strangers can Google your grandma and get enough info to scam her in just 2 clicks, Delete Me gives you peace of mind.
Yes, so go to joindeleteme.com/Ramsey for 20% off. And that discount brings their annual plans down to about $9 a month. So go check it out, joindeleteme.com/Ramsey.
If you're tired of living paycheck to paycheck, feeling like you can't get ahead, join one of our free EveryDollar trainings. There are new trainings every week this month, and they're all hosted by one of the Ramsey personalities. Rachel Cruz, George Camel, Jade Barshaw will be there, one of them. And they're going to show you how to stick to a budget, even find, here's the average. This is crazy. We walk you through how to do this and follow the baby steps exactly the way we teach. The typical person is finding right now $9,560 of margin that they didn't know they have. That's called a head start. It's money laying over in the corner. We drag it out of the corner, throw it at the debt, or we cut stuff and it becomes a permanent part of your budget. It's Very cool how fast you can move once you get a plan and you got somebody to know how to guide you through it. And there's Q&A, live Q&A during this. So sign up for the free RamseySolutions.com/webinar, the free EveryDollar training, RamseySolutions.com/webinar with one of the Ramsey personalities. We're going to walk you through not only just the budget stuff, but also let's use the budget to go somewhere, like become wealthy and outrageously generous. And man, there you go. Very cool stuff. Dee is in British Columbia. Hi, Dee. How are you?
Hey, guys. I'm hoping you can help me with a business-related problem or challenge. I'm just about to start life transition, and I want to know what I should prioritize and how I should go about starting my business when it comes time.
What kind of business are we talking about?
So I'm a journeyman carpenter. I've been working in timber framing, production, and installation, as well as mass timber for the last 3.5, 4 years. And I want to start my own timber frame installation and mass timber installation company.
How expensive is that to get off the ground?
So the way I see it, it scales almost all the way down and almost all the way up. I have a lot of tools myself, and because I would be doing the installation side and not the production side, I can imagine getting started for less than $5,000 doing smaller residential projects and sort of scaling up from there.
Okay. Yeah. And what are you making now in your current job?
In my current job, my base is $38 an hour, which is roughly roughly 80,000 regular time, but I do work overtime, so I'm guessing it's roughly around 100,000, and my wife also makes about 38,000, so we're grossing somewhere around 120,000 to $130,000 a year.
Okay. Do you have any debt?
No debt. We're in baby step 3B, so we are trying to, well, we haven't yet started saving up for a down payment, but we're done the emergency fund. We have about $17,000 for that. And and the transition is that we have been living apart for the last few years, and so we're moving in together as well. So, I want to prioritize having time in that relationship. It's been really hard to consistently budget and do all these things together. We've been having weekly meetings, but obviously when you only talk, about these things once a week, it can get challenging. So I do want to prioritize really coming together and being cohesive, and not putting too much on my plate all at once.
I think that's a good idea.
Just being in the same town will give you time to do that. That's you don't have to not work 3 days a week to do that. So
no, not at all.
But you're talking about you want to prioritize that, not launching the new business, correct?
Well, I feel like I just have a lot of goals. We want to buy a house soon. I'm also almost done building a cabin where I'm moving from. So
well, you can't do it all. So here's the deal.
Yeah, exactly.
Bottom line is the current job is not just sustaining you, but it's also
a different city from his wife.
Yeah. Oh, you're moving to her? I missed that detail.
Yes.
Oh,
I'm moving.
I missed
to her,
that part. Okay. Well, I don't think it's wise to start a business from scratch while doing all this. If I could work for somebody else and then start that business on the side, because it's a pretty big risk. And I here's what I can think of. Here you are moving to actually be in the same house with your wife. So now we're learning how to live together. And then this added pressure of supporting yourself with this fledgling new business. If it were me, I would attempt to take the current skill and trade that I have, and I would move to a new location and get something making same or more if I could, and then slowly start the business on the side.
Dee, what's the cabin going to sell for?
That's a hard question, but I wasn't planning to sell it.
You're not living there. You're moving to another city.
Yeah, so the way it is right now, the land that it's on, there's already property management going on there, and so I was planning to have the people who are already managing the other properties do Airbnb and keeping it as a vacation home. And I've been cash flowing this for...
You have never met an idea you didn't like. You are so freaking ADD, man. You're going to fail in business. Okay?
Okay.
You've got to decide. Ken's right. You're going to have to decide to do one thing. It's your only possible way to be in business. Airbnb in a cabin that you built with your own hands on the other side of British Columbia while you move to the other side and you try to start a business from the ground up and you're trying to be newly married and we're trying to save up and buy a house. Oh, my God. Let me tell you how many of these things are not going to work. All of them are not going to work because you're not going to be good at any of them. Jack of all trades, master of none. No focus whatsoever. The people that win focus. So decide which one comes first and until the next thing. So if I'm you, okay, it's going to be hard to talk you into this because you're, 24? How old are you?
I'm 32, Dave.
32. Okay. It's going to be hard to talk you into this. But if I woke up in your shoes, your wife is your number one priority. You did say that, and I agree with that. By the way, that also will lead you to success. Hello. Because marriage is grand, divorce is $50,000. So there you go. So if I'm you, I'm I'm not going to run an Airbnb halfway across the moon. No way. That's a nightmare looking for a place to happen. I'm going to sell the crap out of that and go, I'm going to put that money in my pocket and I'm going to go home and spend some time with my wife. We are not going to talk about buying a house for 2 years. We're going to rent something cheap and we're going to launch this business and we're going to be married. Now, that's that's if this other question comes through and you tell me this, D. The area that you're moving to, what's the economy like? Is it booming, dead, or middle?
I don't have a firm idea, but I think that it's probably on the upper side of. It's probably not booming.
What's
but I
the
think
city?
It's Edmonton, Alberta.
Okay, when you drive through Edmonton and Alberta, how many cranes are in the air?
Quite a few. There's lots of construction going on.
Okay, that's what I'm looking for. All right, there's stuff moving there. It's not dead. It's a good city. It is a good city, by the way.
Yes.
I agree. It's a good city. So I think you can go there and you can make $50,000 to $100,000 your first year if you bust your hump and you don't worry about an Airbnb across the thing and you don't worry about buying a house. You and your wife lock arms and get up and go swing the freaking hammer every morning in a town that's doing construction left and right, and you can go make your money back. I think you can get started for little or nothing. But if you try to do 6 things at once, you're going to do none of them.
So you would prioritize the business even over
the cabin,
a home.
Yes,
over the cabin, but even
because you have to have an income when you move, and I think you can make as much or more on your own because I think you're that guy. I really think you've got the energy level, the entrepreneurship to go do it. And part of being an entrepreneur is being a wee bit ADD. Okay, I mean I've struggled with watching squirrels my whole life. Right, squirrel, and so so you can do this, but you're going to have to commit to focus. I'm going to send you a book I wrote, a little 37-page book called The Momentum Theorem. Focused intensity over time multiplied by God equals unstoppable momentum. The opposite of that is no momentum, which is no good life. And it comes from focused intensity over time multiplied by the blessings of God equals unstoppable momentum. Hang on, I'm going to send you a copy of that. You need to read it because I recognize you. I've seen you in the mirror. Oh, yeah. The 33-year-old version of Dave scares the pants off of me. Ugh. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's The Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. Ken Coleman, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author and host of the show Front Row Seat on the Ramsey Networks. Be sure and check it out. Check out this week's version. It dropped, I guess, a few days back with Jimmy John that started the sandwich shop. Multi-billionaire guy. It is a long-form interview, especially if you've ever wanted to be inspired. The guy is inspiring, and I've listened to it all the way through. It's pretty incredible.
Thank you. He's such a gem, and he is the American dream, and it's alive and well.
Yeah. I mean, overcoming some crap, right?
Yeah.
And then win. Yeah. And not bashful either.
Yeah. And you said he's one of the nicest people you've ever met.
Yeah. He
Very
really
giving.
Don't you think?
Oh, I think so. I mean, you got a personal story there, but just couldn't it be a kinder guy, supports so many people that have meant something to him. And, you hear nothing but negative stuff about billionaires. Give that conversation a listen. It might change your mind about billionaires.
Yeah. I have met, I think, somewhere north of 75 billionaires now, and spent a substantial time, not just a passing conversation. And truthfully, only one of them was an absolute scumball. I mean, you want to go take a shower after you got done, right? But the rest of them are some of the most giving, understated, unassuming, generous people. And generous not only in the sense of giving to charity or a ministry or something like that, but just the person that holds the door when you got a bag of groceries in your arm, just giving, and doesn't ever come to your home for dinner without some kind of something, right?
Yeah.
And they came to our house for dinner. He sent the world's best box of chocolates I think I've ever eaten in my life.
Bet.
They're incredible. 2 weeks later, they come and Sharon's like, I like this guy.
Yeah. And he showed up for the interview. Looked like he just walked off the boat, nice T-shirt, shorts.
He did. He
couldn't be more
likes to
unassuming.
Fish. He loves to fish. He
You'd never know.
Probably just landed.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, good stuff.
Great guy.
Check it out, guys. You'll enjoy it. It's worth the listen. Cole is with us in Tampa, Florida. Hey, Cole, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. How are y'all doing?
Better than we deserve. How can we help?
Yeah, so I just had a question. So my girlfriend and I I'm planning on proposing in October.
Yay!
Within the next couple of months. Yep. So I'm very, very excited for that. And we're planning on getting married in January. So it's going to be a pretty quick turnaround.
Cool.
But so her parents are actually going to be gifting us $50,000 for the wedding, and then to cover those expenses, and then the honeymoon, and then anything else after that we can save.
Cool. Well, a lot about this, considering you hadn't even proposed.
I know. Very confident.
I know. Well, we've talked about it a lot. So we got it all down pat.
Okay.
But yeah, so we're planning on, we want to keep the wedding, we don't want to go crazy, maybe like between 10 and 15. And honestly, weddings are super expensive right now. We've been kind of surprised with some sticker shock recently. But yeah, so we want to be about between 10 and 15 for the wedding, and then probably I would say up to 10 for the honeymoon. So that remaining 25 to 30, we're kind of we're just kind of wondering what we should be doing with that and where that should be at.
Okay. Do you guys, either one of you, have debt?
Yes. So I have about $25,000 excluding my mortgage.
Okay. What about her?
And she has no debt.
Okay. That doesn't surprise me. Okay. All right. And your $25,000 is on what?
So it's split up between my car and then 2 personal loans, and then I owe my parents some money because my AC went out.
And what do you make?
So my base salary is $45,000, but I make this year I'm on track to make $75,000.
Okay. All right. And you're saving for a ring?
Yes, sir. Yep.
That's why we're trying to get to October. Okay. And all right. So if you really turn on the coal, turn on the heat and light up the coals or whatever we want to call it and go crazy, and you don't do nothing except ring and debt until the wedding, how much of this can you clear?
So we did. So we talked about this the other night, and I have a goal of clearing out $6,000 of it before December, and I feel like that's kind of conservative. I think I can.
Oh, that sucks.
If I really turned
That's horrible.
Yeah. I think if I went on beans and rice and beans, I could definitely clear off.
I want you to clear all of it before you get married.
Okay.
So that means no beans, just rice.
Okay.
Yeah. I think you got to get on it. I think you're going to have to get your EveryDollar budget out and really crank it down to nothing.
Okay.
And then I want you working like a maniac So you bring little to no debt into this marriage. How much do you owe your parents?
Like $3,500.
Okay. Yeah, you definitely got to clear that. If you use the wedding money from her family to pay your parents, that's weird.
Yeah. I felt the same thing. That was gross.
Yeah, that's gross. I can't do that.
What's your car situation? What's it worth versus what you owe?
Yeah, so my car, I would say it's worth. I looked at the Kelley Blue Book not too long ago. It's about between $10,000 and $12,000, and I owe like just over $6,000 on it.
Yeah, if you're making $75,000, you clear your parents, you clear the car. Yeah. And what was the other one?
So it's a $3,000 or $3,100 personal loan, and then the other one is like a $12,000 personal loan.
Okay, all right. So if the $12,000 personal loan is the largest one, it sounds like, so it's at the bottom of your debt snowball. You're in attack. Everything's gone, but that, and most of it should be gone.
Okay.
You got 6 months. Ready, set, go. Crank it, baby. Get it. $75,000. Yes, I need $25,000 to be done in a year, and I need, so I need 14, 15, 16, 18,000 or whatever to be done. Yeah, you can't quite make it, but you might get so close. Then you're not using much of this money, this leftover money, to pay off your debt, which is what I'm trying to avoid.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
I also left out buying a ring, so that's going to be even harder. But yeah, but if you get everything done but that $12,000 loan, I'm probably...
You got stuff in that house you can sell?
Not much. It's a bachelor pad right now. Yeah. Me and my brother are here.
Sell your beanbag. Yeah. Okay. All right. So yeah, all right. So number one, you're going to work on the debt as hard as you can. How expensive a ring are we talking about?
So she's actually going to be listening to this.
Don't say then. That's good.
Yeah.
Thank you for bringing that up. Okay, I didn't think of that.
Yeah.
All right, so I want you to budget the ring and the debt and the wedding, and be very, very careful. And then when you guys clear and come home from the honeymoon, then you can decide what you're going to do with this money. If you're going to pay off the rest of your debt, which is probably what you're going to do, but not parents. Okay. You need to clear the parents before you get there. That's icky. Also, on the wedding, be sure and put a number down. Do a full budget like it's a project. The dress is going to be this much. The videographer is going to be this much. The catering is going to be this much. Every dollar, and make sure that total fits. And then you have to manage the people into that. Otherwise, you'll bust that wedding budget wide open. I get it. Switching banks is a pain in the you-know-what. But if your bank doesn't line up with your money goals, it's time to make the switch to Fairwinds Credit Union. Listen, you guys know how I feel about big banks. They make money when you stay broke, charging you overdraft fees, pushing credit cards, and telling you debt is normal. And that's why I only work with folks who help you, not just profit off of you. Fairwinds is different. They're owned by their members. They're nonprofit, and they share our values. They even advertise with billboards saying they want their members to be debt-free. So they built the Smart Checking and Savings Bundle just for Ramsey fans. You can open your account online in minutes, and here's what you get. Free checking with no minimums and no monthly fees. Savings with a high APY to help you in baby step 1 and beyond. And a mobile app that actually makes sense. Plus, you also get access to over 33,000 fee-free ATMs and more than 5,000 affiliated branches nationwide. So don't settle for a bank that slows your progress down. Choose one that's built to help you win with money. Go to fairwinds.org/Ramsey and open your Smart Bundle today.
Fairwinds is federally insured by the NCUA.
Jesse's in Fredericksburg, Virginia. Hi, Jesse. How are you?
Oh, I've been better.
Okay. What's up?
I just recently, so on the 1st of this month, I received a call from my ex-husband's neighbor. And the cops were there to do a welfare check. I gave him access to the house, and they found him passed away.
Oh, wow. That's weird.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he had diabetes and didn't take care of it very well.
How old was he?
So he would have been 50 next month.
How long y'all been divorced?
Since March.
Oh, just the other day. Okay, wow.
Yeah.
And that's how you had access to the house? I mean...
Yeah, I mean, we remained friends. We were unequally yoked. I'm a Christian and he was an atheist. And the further my faith grew, the further the friction in our home grew. Yeah. And we just both decided that we'd rather be able to remain friends than get to the point where we hated each other. So, I mean, you know, I talk to him like every couple weeks and that kind of thing.
Well, where does this leave you now?
Well, he didn't listen very well. And when we got divorced, I recommended that he name a new beneficiary for his life insurance and IRA and all that stuff. He did not. I also told him to create a will, and he did not. So I'm still listed as the beneficiary. The house that he had, that's going to go through probate. He only has one blood heir, and that would be his brother. His brother lives in the Philippines. So he's giving me power of attorney to like kind of handle things stateside for him. So I'm going to be the estate admin for the probate situation.
To sell the house, and the proceeds from the house will go to his brother. And
right.
You're the beneficiary on his life insurance and his 401k.
Insurance and his IRA.
IRA, okay.
So between the life insurance, the IRA, and the estate administrative fees that I guess the estate's required to pay the estate administrator in Virginia, I'm looking to get $235,100.
Mm-hmm.
My current husband and I just got married. My current husband and I together, we have about $44,000 in debt.
Mm-hmm.
During the divorce settlement, I took that money and I paid off my student loans, and I created a emergency fund, and it's got about $12,000 in it. Mm-hmm. So baby steps 1 and 2 or 1 and 3 are done.
Well, except that's not the order. It's 1, 2, 3, but yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, I didn't really pay much attention to you until I was going through
I got it.
His stuff. Like my ex-husband, he used to talk about you guys all the time. And when we split up, there was $30,000 worth of debt that he took.
Mm-hmm.
And when I went through all of his stuff, he only owed $2,300 in a credit card.
Good. Okay.
And that was it. And he had $1,000 in the emergency fund. So, like, looking at his statements, it screamed Dave Ramsey.
Okay. So how can I help you today, hon?
So there is, after I pay off debt, there's going to be about $191,000 left, and I just want to make good choices with it.
Yeah. Okay.
That
will put you into, you need to finish up your emergency fund, you and your new husband.
Mm-hmm.
It's $12,000, not enough. So we're going to use some of it and have a fully funded emergency fund of 3 to 6 months of expenses.
Okay.
And then do you know what I'm going to tell you to do next after you do baby step 3?
Mm-hmm.
Baby step 4. Do you know what that is?
Is that the one that's paying off the house?
No, that's 15% of your income going into retirement.
Okay.
So we're going to fill up retirement 15%. Okay. You and your new husband, combined finances, combined assets, combined liabilities. Does the new husband have any debt?
He's got, so the $44,000, that's mine and his.
Okay.
Because we're one, right?
Good.
So,
Good. Okay. Box checked. Good. Okay.
Yeah, I'm equally yoked this time, and he is very frugal.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who talk about that, but don't do it. Okay, good.
Oh, no. His actions match his words.
Okay, so What we're going to do is 15% of your income going into retirement. If you got kids for college, that's baby step 5, and 6 is pay off the house. So I'm assuming you guys have a mortgage, or you will use this money to buy your first home, one of the two. And you're just going to walk right up the baby steps, kiddo. Very strange and almost eerie way to get money, but it is what it is, and there's nothing immoral or unethical about it, and it's just unusual, which is, yeah. So, yeah, but don't commingle the money that you got as a beneficiary with the estate. That has nothing to do with the estate. That's passing outside the estate and goes directly to you. The estate itself, you're managing as a favor to his brother, getting a small fee, not a huge one, to manage the sale of the house, and then the equity will be sent to him after his credit card debt is paid, or whatever little bit of debt he had. But you don't use the money you got to do anything at all. You're under no moral or legal obligation. As a matter of fact, it'd be downright foolish for you to use that money for anything in this estate. Very unusual. Very weird. Okay. Hey, thanks for the call. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Fina is in Los Angeles. Hi, Fina. How are you?
Hi, Dave and Ken. Thanks so much for taking my call.
Sure.
I have a question about rent-to-own home ownership.
Mm-hmm.
So my spouse and I are debt-free, and we are currently saving for a down payment on a home.
Good.
So we've come across some of these rent-to-own offers, and while they really sound like a shortcut to home ownership,
They're
we're
not.
a little skeptical.
Yeah, they're not.
Okay. So is it legit, or is it just a scam?
They're legit, but the math doesn't work in your favor. And the legal position doesn't work in your favor. You can pay on it for years and years and years and years and years and still not ever end up with a house if the company you're dealing with goes bankrupt.
Okay. And if we do a direct, kind of like a private sale?
No, just do a regular purchase. No, just don't do a rent-to-own at all. Rent-to-own has got, the math is set up to where we used to do leases with an option or rent-to-own all the time when I owned a bunch of real estate in my first life. And the number of people that actually followed all the way through and closed on the deal was 0.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So save up. Yeah. Take a little bit more time. Do it the slow way. Save up and put your good solid down payment, 15-year fixed rate mortgage where the payment's no more than a fourth of your take-home pay. And that will get you there.
Dave, what's the marketing hook? What's the emotional pull
Quick and
when
easy.
you've got a rent to buy?
Quick and easy.
Okay.
Real estate is difficult and slow.
Right.
Buying your first home, particularly because it's complicated, it's something you've never done. It's intimidating. It's a big number.
Yep.
It's all of those things. So it's slow and it's complicated.
So they flip this one at you.
And so you just go, you just slide right in here, just start paying. You're a renter now, just keep being a renter, and then you get to own.
Right.
But then when you add it up, you've paid for the stinking thing 3 times before you get into it. And the way to think about it is this, okay? If you need a washer and dryer, if you're broke, save up and buy one on Facebook Marketplace that's slightly used from some old lady in the rich end of town who just wanted to upgrade and bought the brand new one. And this one's 4 years old or 3 years old. And you can buy that for, a washer and dryer is $2,500. A front load be $2,500 a piece, that kind of thing, right? And you can buy that for $500-600.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Or you can go to the wrong end of town where people get ripped off and do literally rent to own. It says it on the front, on the washer and dryer. And when you add up how long you've rented that before you own it, you will have paid $8,000, for a $4,000 or $5,000 set, and you will, you will have paid $8,000, and you could have bought it used for $500 and owned it. So this is what you avoid. You just avoid that because they're making a bank on you.
My full-time job is helping people make smart money decisions. But in my spare time, I'm a grill master. Okay, more of a semi-amateur enthusiast. But you know what makes me get one step closer to pro level? Shopping at Aldi. The other day, I threw some Simply Nature organic chicken on the grill and ended up with a meal so good that even my picky toddler asked for seconds. Aldi has become my first stop for groceries because they've got it all, from USDA choice beef to fresh organic produce, everything you need to pull off a gourmet dinner without busting your grocery budget. So stop paying more and just shop at Aldi, where you'll save with the lowest prices of any national grocery store. Find a store near you at aldi.us. That's ALDI.us. Savings based on regional analysis of Aldi versus select competitors. Prices may vary by location, product availability, and the market.
John is in Nashville. Hey, John, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you guys doing?
Better than we deserve. How can we help?
Yeah, so I'll try to make it quick. So currently I have $120K in debt with my wife. 30 of it is a HELOC and 90 is credit card debt. And my take home is $3,600 a month, but the minimum payments on the cards are $2,600. So basically, I'm kind of struggling on where to go next, and if I should file bankruptcy or if I should try to extend my HELOC to cover the debt.
What is your home worth?
I believe Redfin pulled it out at $350, and I owe $193 on it,
including the HELOC.
With the HELOC, it would be $220.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. How did you do that on $3,600? What's your wife make?
She's a stay-at-home mom now, but she used to be a teacher.
What did you used to make a lot more money?
No. We kind of just use credit cards and pay them off, and then.
How did you get a mortgage this size on $3,600 income? Oh, your wife was working. You had to double the income when you did the deal.
Yeah, and it was in 2019.
What are you doing for a living?
I'm a financial analyst, which is kind of ironic.
Yeah. Well, they don't teach you this stuff. They teach you, academic teaches you stuff about corporate world, and so it's a different skill set. So it is ironic, but it is, in your defense, that's the case. So how old are you?
I'm 30.
And how many kids have y'all got?
One now and then one on the way.
Okay. Okay, there's two types of bankruptcy that apply to this situation. A Chapter 13, which is a payment plan. And in order to enter a Chapter 13, you will have to pay payments to everyone, pennies on the dollar. But in your case, it will be more than that. And 78% of the Chapter 13s don't make it. They fail. So it's a 5-year plan, and you pay payments on the credit cards for 5 years. The HELOC would be paid 100%. The mortgage would be paid 100%, or you don't get to keep the house.
Okay.
And I'm not sure you have the money to do that, do you?
Right now, I'm not behind on anything.
If you didn't have any credit card debt, do you have the money to pay those house payments? You really don't, do you?
No.
Yeah. So why don't we just sell the house and pay off the credit cards?
We were thinking about it. The issue is we do have it at 2%. And
yeah, but you don't have a choice. You can't keep the house.
Right.
You're going to lose the house in bankruptcy. If you file the other type of bankruptcy is a Chapter 7 bankruptcy, and in Tennessee you have a $7,500 homestead exemption, which means that you get to keep $7,500 of your equity. So the Chapter 7 trustee is going to make you sell the house to pay the credit cards. Mm-hmm. In Chapter 7, if you want to wipe out the credit cards completely, the only way you get to do that is they're going to take your house and use it to pay the credit cards, which you should have just done that and not filed bankruptcy. Okay? Chapter 13 is payments, and you can't pay the payments. You can't afford to stay there. So now that your wife is a full-time mom, you can no longer afford this house. Thus the problem. That's how you got the credit card debt, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. So unless you see a situation reasonably where your income is going to double, in the next 5 to 7 months, you're selling the house, dude. You don't really have a choice. You file bankruptcy, they're going to take it. You go into Chapter 13, the 13 is going to fail because you can't pay the payments, and you can't use any credit cards after that because they'll throw you out of the bankruptcy, and it'd be a little bit hard to get one. Not really. Probably could get one while you're in the 13, but anyway, because they're that stupid. But anyway, man, I don't see a way out. So the two types of bankruptcy don't help you. One puts you in payments that you can't afford already, because they have to be paid 100% on secured loans, okay? You don't get away from that on Chapter 13. Yeah. Chapter 7, the equity you're allowed to keep is only $7,500. You have way more equity than that, so the trustee is going to force the sale of the asset to pay your bills. And then the other way is you just sell the asset and pay your bills. I guess the fourth option is you know something I don't know in this conversation, which is your income's getting ready to double. Is that the case?
No, I wish.
What are you doing for a living?
Working for just an investment company in Nashville.
Okay. Oh, you told me that. Your financial analyst.
What's your house worth?
He's worth $350 and he owes $193.
Yeah,
pay off the credit cards.
No, I get it, but the reason I asked that is because your response to Dave was when he said, "Why not pay off the house?" You said, "Well, I'm at 2%, which means you think you're going to be owning a house, and you're just not going to be in a position to buy a house coming out of this. You've got to set your mind for we're renting for a while as we rebuild."
Yeah, you're 100% debt free. You make $3,600. You got a couple of kids. You're 30 years old. And from there, you decide what your career track is going to look like, and that leads you back into home ownership again someday, but not immediately. But let me tell you what else is going to happen is when you wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning and it feels like a car is sitting on your chest right now, that's going to be gone.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be gone. You're going to be able to breathe again.
Yeah.
You're going to be a better daddy, a better husband, better employee, because you can breathe again. Because, man, I've been where you are, but I had extra zeros on it, and it sucks. Your life is not good right now. Your stomach is in your throat. Your chest is tight. Your traps are tight. Your shoulders are all bunched up around your ears, and it's no fun. The stress is manifesting itself in your relationships. The number one cause of divorce is money fights and money problems. The stress around it is ridiculous. You're looking at her going, man, if we hadn't, brought you home, we might have been able to keep all this stuff. But wait a minute, we did want to bring you home because of the kids, and now I got a 2%. All these things are just swimming. I'd clear the deck and start my life fresh with a breath of cool mountain air where I could breathe again. Please, for your sake. Because here's the thing. You're going to choose to be proactive in this situation, or the math is going to make a choice for you.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have a choice. Okay? You're going to lose this house unless you double your income, because you simply can't pay it. And if you go into bankruptcy, they're going to take it because you got enough equity to pay the bill. Because that's what bankruptcy is. You don't have anything to sell and you can't pay your bills. You got something to sell. And so that's the way the law is written that way. The creditors expect you to pay your bills with what you have, income or assets. And that's the way the law is written. So I'm sorry, man. Sorry you're facing all this. But, yeah, you guys backed into this, and then you tried to hold on with credit cards, and the credit cards sunk you. But even if the credit cards weren't there, you still can't afford this house on $3,600 with 2 kids in Nashville, Tennessee. Don't work. Doesn't work. So something's got to give. Something's got to give. So you're going to be renting a while until you get your career in gear and get moving. And I'm sorry you're facing this, but I will encourage you. It's hard to visualize for you right now because there's shame involved and condemnation and everything else. But I'm telling you, dude, that Volkswagen that's sitting on your chest at 2 a.m., it's going to be gone. And you're going to sleep a whole night. I remember this. I remember the feeling of the weight of the world hanging around your neck, and you can't breathe. And I remember knowing that it was my fault, that I did it. And it pissed me off like double, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a huge mess, and I did it. That's a 2 hit.
That's right.
That's punched in the face twice. and the shame that goes with that and the self-forgiveness and so forth. But you were trying to do a good thing. You're trying to let her be home with the babies. You're trying to work a good job, trying to be a homeowner, and the things all got mixed up, and it went sideways with $90,000 worth of credit card debt. I'm so sorry. Hang on, we're going to put you into Financial Peace University so you can recover from the sale of this house quicker. And it includes the EveryDollar advanced version, which will guide you through these baby steps of rebuilding for your life. And you can do this. You're smart. You just did some dumb things. I'm smart, but I did more dumb things than you did. You know, one of the first things I discovered working in the financial world is how absolutely devastating it is when the breadwinner of a family dies and there's too little life insurance or none at all. Grieving families are suddenly left behind, scrambling to pay bills and trying to make ends meet. I also discovered that there are a lot of rip-offs in the life insurance world, like that whole life crap posing as an investment opportunity. What you need is level term life insurance, usually 10 to 12 times your income, which is the smartest, most affordable way to protect your family. The key is finding an independent broker who represents a ton of companies and works for you, not for the insurance company. This is exactly what my friend Jeff Zander and his team at Zander Insurance are all about. They shop the term life companies to find you the best options, and they've been around for over 95 years. So you know they'll be there when you need them. Zander is the real deal. And that's why they've handled all my personal insurance for over 25 years. I trust them, and you can too. Visit Zander.com for instant online quotes, or for a more personal touch, give them a call at 800-356-4282. The Ramsey Show question of the day is brought to you by Why Refi. Feeling stuck with private student loans that are in default? Why Refi can reduce your payments and help you regain control of your money. Take the first step towards getting unstuck. Go to whyrefi.com/Ramsey. That's the letter Y, REFY.com/Ramsey. Might not be in all states.
Today's question comes from Diana in Oklahoma. For late-in-life marriages, is it better to have a marriage certificate signed but not filed with our state if we want to protect a 401k from being drained to pay for long-term care for the other spouse? I've had to work hard to make retirement possible for myself, and I'm very concerned that filing the paperwork might jeopardize all of that. I would prefer to do things legally, but not at the expense of my future. Well, when it comes to potentially shady and illegal financial moves, that freaks me out. And I actually don't know the answer to that, but I think you do.
Well, there are two kinds of nursing homes. There's nursing homes that you pay for that are private, and there's nursing homes that accept welfare, which is Medicaid. And so what you're saying is you want a plan to be on welfare. Well, if you've ever done anything on welfare, you will find that the quality of life is not usually that good. It's not like prosperity or something like that, right? So it's the DMV of nursing homes, right? So, I'd suggest before you get all haughty-toddy about this, you go visit a Medicaid nursing home and see if you want anybody you love there, if you have the money to do otherwise. If it's all you can do, it's all you can do. But it is designed for people who are in poverty. That's what Medicaid is. It's welfare. And so if you're not in poverty and you're trying to pretend to be in poverty to protect your money, that's called fraud. And the government will take your money anyway. Mm-hmm. Now, if you want to put your new spouse in a Medicaid nursing home instead of a regular nursing home, instead of using your money, there are provisions in the law that allow your personal residence to be protected. So the wife, in this case, stays in the home. Husband goes to the nursing home. The Medicaid picks up everything. You go on welfare. And you don't have to lose your home to do that. And most of the situations also have some protections for your retirement funds, your 401k funds. So you're probably okay anyway, but you need a better decision-making framework than how can I put my spouse in welfare? How can I put my spouse on welfare? That's a crummy way of looking at the world, kiddo. And so, I worked hard all my life, and so I'm going to put everybody on welfare. That's just dumb, okay? That's what I mean. Let me try to be a little bit more clear and less sophisticated in my lingo. That's dumb. Don't let welfare be your best plan, and I'm going to figure out some way to shade around and not file with my marriage certificate and all this other bull crap so that I can stick my new spouse into a welfare nursing home. Dumb, okay? Now, what can you do? Well, number one, you can continue to build wealth. Number two, you guys can talk about and shop around looking at nursing home care. You can figure out if in-home care is less expensive, because sometimes it can be. You literally can hire someone with an elevated bed, buy an elevated bed, and hire someone to work in your home 24/7. Cheaper than some nursing homes. And so you can self-insure through that issue. You can look into long-term care insurance, which if you're over 60 and you're worried about these kinds of things because you don't have enough money to pay for them, which is apparently your case, then you can get long-term care insurance. Long-term care insurance will cover about 3 years of nursing home care, and you can buy that. And 3 years covers about 90-something% of the nursing home stays. The average nursing home stay is about 2.8 years. Okay, because they die. So people don't live there for 22 years. That's not something they do. So typically, that's what we find. So if you can buy long-term care insurance, you can continue to build wealth, you can investigate self-insurance and staying at home, but you don't commit welfare fraud, and you don't use a decision-making paradigm of, you know what, I don't really want to buy a house, so I'm just going to go and get Section 8. And the government can pay for my housing. And I'm gonna hide all of my income, and I'm gonna hide all of my assets so that the government provides me free housing in Section 8.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. Have you ever been to Section 8 housing? I've owned some, okay? They're not horrible by and large. Some of them are. But it's not like prosperity. It's not like this is my golden years. This would be your copper years, okay? So, this is not, no, you don't want to live like that. And besides that, you don't want to commit fraud to get government help.
And you probably shouldn't get married that late in life if this is how you're going to look at your money versus their money. You could hear in this
you're going to look at your money versus their life.
Yeah, it's pretty.
You like your money more than you do them.
I think so.
Yeah, I don't want to be on that. It's like, we went, we were talking about so-and-so that passed away the other day, and Sharon said, well, they were old. And that's like her comment, okay? She says this all the time. She comes from the country, so, right, yeah. Animals come and go, and people die.
You're old, high probability of death.
If you're old, that's why they died. They were old. And so I told my friends, since our whole estate plan is predicated on me dying first, if Sharon starts telling people I'm old, y'all got to watch my back.
That is a good call.
You got to watch my back. Because right before you go to the funeral home, Sharon says you're old. So there you go.
Yeah, we need cameras in every room.
That person's old. So, on the other hand, she has a great life, and she's never going to get old. So there you go. That's it.
But kudos to Sharon. She's very health conscious. I don't know anybody that's more health conscious than she is.
A wee bit obsessed, yes. But the deal is you don't get out of paying for the nursing home. And here's an interesting thing. Since I've just kind of been up on my soapbox anyway, let's just stay there for a second. It's interesting to me that this same lady would never in a million years go to a restaurant and figure out a way to eat their food and not pay them. And yet she's willing to do that with the government.
Yeah.
And willing to do that with substandard care for someone she loves. There's something about the nursing home's going to get all our money. There's something about that vibe that people, I worked all my life and then the nursing home got it all. No, you bought services. It's like, you don't say, I worked all my life and the guy that put the transmission in my car got it all. No, you don't say that. You know you bought a transmission and a guy to put the transmission in your car. You know, why do we attack nursing homes? Because we're mad at them. They're expensive, I guess, is one thing.
Yeah.
And it's end of life. Maybe that's another thing. So it's emotional. But nursing homes, by and large, are not a bunch of crooks. They just provide a service and you can choose whether to buy it or not. It's pretty simple.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can go over to the restaurant and buy food or not. You can go to the car dealer, buy a car or not. You can go to a Ramsey event and pay the ticket or not. You can go to a concert and pay the ticket or not. You can choose to do this. But you never say, you know, oh, they took all my money. No, you gave it to them. And in return, they gave you services that they promised. And so it's a fair trade.
Yeah.
And if you don't want to make the trade, it's a free country. You don't have to enter in the trade. But that does not then qualify you for welfare. Welfare is for poor people.
Yeah.
They're for people in poverty that don't have the money otherwise to care. And they're going to, otherwise this, 85-year-old will be on the street in a cardboard box somewhere but our society has chosen to pay for this person who is indigent, who is broke in poverty, and we pay for them. The government, we, taxpayers, pay for that in the welfare program. But we don't pay for it for people from Oklahoma that have $500,000 in their 401k and think it's inconvenient. That's not what we pay for that for.
Right.
Yep. Nor do we want you to get food stamps, lady. You ought to go to the grocery store and buy your own dadgum food. You got the money. Food stamps are for people that wouldn't have food otherwise. That's what it's for. So this gaming the system thing is really interesting around the whole nursing home. It activates a vibe in people's brain that other stuff doesn't activate. It's a service, boys and girls. You pay for it or you don't. It's up to you. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's The Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. Ken Coleman, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author and host of the show Front Row Seat, a brand new hit on the Ramsey Networks, is my co-host today. The phone number here is 888-825-5225. Joel is in Orange County, California. Hey, Joel, what's up?
Hi, thank you for taking my call.
Sure, how can I help?
I'm following the baby steps, and I'm cutting a lot of expenses, but I am having a really hard time with my wife psychologically. She is not in a place where she sees the debt as ours, because I brought this debt into the marriage, and now we have a kid, and it's about $47,000 worth of debt. And she's not willing to I hear you all the time saying live on rice and beans and rice, and don't go into restaurants anymore. And I'm trying to actually implement that, but my wife is putting up a barrier of we just have a really busy lifestyle, and we don't get home sometimes because we serve at church and stuff until 9:30 at night. And so she's like, we still have to go out to eat. And I'm like, it's not, I don't want to. And I kind of...
You're a classic guy. How long have you been married?
4 years.
Yeah, okay. Because I used to do this crap too. So here's the problem. Guys do this more than women. Sometimes women do it, but mostly guys. You started talking about what instead of talking about why.
Oh.
We got to cut expenses because we got to get out of debt, and that's the way we're going to do this, and da-da-da-da-da. And there was no, but you had the why in your head, but you never talked about the why, and she has never agreed to the why. If the why is we want to build wealth so we can do anything we want to do for this child that we just had, oh, that lady's on board. But if the why is my husband wants to cut out eating when I'm tired, going out to eat when I'm tired because he started listening to some stupid podcast, that's not a good why. She isn't buying that. And that's what you found out. So basically you owe her an apology. You did not include her in this decision.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So, honey, I'm sorry. I goofed this whole thing up. We need to do full stop and start again. Here's what I am learning, and I would like for us to look at how our future is going to be. I really believe that we have the ability to become prosperous, and that we could travel, and that we could do things for this child. We could change our whole family tree. One of the barriers to that is this debt. And so once I saw that if we got out of debt, that we would have the money to do other things, and we combine our finances and we combine our lives, and we have a high probability of building wealth when we do those things. And the wealth is for generosity, to help others. The wealth is to change our family tree. A godly man leaves an inheritance to his children's children. God loves a cheerful giver. All of these things are biblical. You said you're spending time at church.
Yes, and that's kind of, yeah. I'm saying we're spending so much time at church, and then we're not making food at home.
Yeah.
Like cut out.
Yeah, it's like it's kind of gotten back. It's kind of gotten the tail wagging the dog. But either way, my point is that if you look at this through a spiritual lens, God in His Bible, in His love letter to us, is very clear. Go change your family tree. Take care of your own household first. You're worse than an unbeliever. The borrower is slave to the lender. When we get out of debt and we can start building some wealth to be generous to others and to change our family tree, that's biblical.
Yeah.
And that's how I'm looking at this, honey. And I think that we can do that, but I'm seeing the barrier is this. And so the way we clear the debt is we temporarily go deep on the sacrifice to clear the debt so that we have a great long-term prognosis. That's what I'm looking at. Tell me what's wrong with that other than you just want to go out to eat.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah, go back to the why. See, you got the why real quick when you were listening to this stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you translated it to the tactical. And then you just presented her with the tactical.
Yeah.
And not the strategic. So strategy does not, tactics don't work without strategy. Strategy doesn't work without tactics. You've got to have both.
Yeah, and I would just add one other thing, and this is for all the dudes out there, and I've learned this the hard way. You know, when discussing something like this or anything that's major in your marriage and you're trying to get on the same page, it's great to ask questions, not make statements. And it's we try to solve, and you make a lot of statements, and it comes across as a very concrete, immovable, boom, and they can't do anything with it. But if you can learn to ask questions around the bigger topic that you're discussing, and it includes the feedback and you're actually listening, they feel seen and heard. This is a human thing, not a woman thing. But you got to do it that way. Ask good questions to emit answers that now we start to say the same things. Stop making statements about what we've got to do.
Yeah. Because I doubt very seriously that your wife is so short-sighted that she would sacrifice her child's future to get to go out to eat.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably not who she is. But the way you presented this, that's the dichotomy that you gave her.
Well, it's a great point, Dave, because that's actually a trivial response to a trivial statement. We're going to cut out all these meals. And she's going, what are you talking about? That doesn't even make any sense because we're coming home at 9 o'clock at night. I don't want to make a sandwich. It got so trivial because of the way it was presented to her.
Yeah, it's tactical before strategy.
That's exactly right. I love how you put that.
Yeah, it's just you got to have both. You got to have a why. And, Simon Sinek's book, Start with Why.
Yeah, great.
Start with why. If you've got a big enough why, sometimes we have people, Joel, they come in to do their debt-free scream, and their little kids, the little 4-year-old kid will be wearing a T-shirt that says, I'm the why. I'm why my parents did this, in other words. Mm-hmm. They worked an extra job. They sacrificed. They sold their car. He sold his gun collection. He did whatever. I'm the why because they wanted stuff for me more than they wanted stuff today. They wanted me to have a good life. So changing my family tree is a huge why. And so you got to, and if you give your name a why and both of you can get around that why, then the what starts to become obvious. Because the what is the short-term pain to get the long-term gain. It's the live like no one else so that later you can live and give like no one else. And if you want to go back to a biblical paradigm, it's no discipline seems pleasant at the time, but it yields a harvest of righteousness, Hebrews. Okay, so, there's 100% of the people that win big at something pay a price. And becoming financially successful and successful in your marriage in America today is so freaking unusual that it's called winning big. I'm talking about successful. I'm talking about, yes, you become millionaires. Yes, you stay married for 53 years and like each other while you become millionaires, while you work together towards common goals. And through thick and thin, as they say, for richer, for poorer, unto thee all my worldly goods I pledge, the old Book of Common Prayer wedding vows said. So all of that starts to come together then when you pan back far enough that you get the why. This is The Ramsey Show. Graduation doesn't come with a GPS, and a lot of students are walking into the real world with no clue on what direction they should go. The Get Clear Assessment, Find the Work You're Wired to Do, Student Edition, will help your student get clarity and build a real plan that they're confident in. This is a quick assessment. Takes about, 27 minutes to take it?
No, right at about 20 minutes.
About 20 minutes,
yeah.
Okay. Whether it'll help you with the major, it'll help you with a trade, it'll help you with your first job, help you figure out what you're wired to do, in other words. It's only $34.99. The assessment will help them identify their strengths, while the book will help them understand the results and help you figure out what's next, a plan. Get a copy at RamseySolutions.com/store. If you're watching on YouTube or podcast, just click the link in the description. Again, the Get Clear Assessment Student Edition. It's a big deal. Brand new product, just came out a few months ago, and it's selling like crazy because every student should do this. Amanda is in Tampa. Hi, Amanda. Welcome to The Ramsey Show.
Hi.
Hi, what's up?
I was wondering, how do I fix financial infidelity when it was the only thing my husband asked me not to do when we first got together? We've been together about 16 years. We have 2 kids together. I never lied to him about money. And we had taken all of our money and we opened a restaurant together. And very quickly, it ended up not working out. And I told him everything was fine when it wasn't. And then we ended up losing our apartment. And that's when I kind of, was forced to come clean about it. I was just, very scared for the repercussions of it. And now he thinks it's best that we separate because he doesn't think I'm trustworthy anymore.
I'm sorry. So the restaurant, you said very quickly went sideways, but you lost an apartment. That doesn't happen quickly.
Yeah, so we opened in October, and then, we had a little bit of money coming in. It looked like it was doing good, but we'd never run a restaurant before. We had no idea what we were doing. So I was able to, pay the rent at our apartment, and then I stopped paying credit cards so I could pay the rent. And
does he not involved in the budgeting at all?
No, I've always taken care of it.
So he handed it all to you and then doesn't like what you did.
He asked for the bank information, and I didn't give it to him because I was scared that we failed.
All right, you opened a restaurant in October.
Mm-hmm.
And so what does he make?
Well, we both had to start going back to work. We ended up...
No, I mean, he quit work and worked at the restaurant when you opened it?
Yeah, we had both quit our jobs and was doing this full time.
Lord Jesus. Okay.
Yeah.
So he literally works there and still is clueless.
Yeah, I think he saw like how much we were making, which we were making money, but he wasn't aware of how much we were actually spending to keep it open as well.
And you weren't either, because you weren't doing any books, I can tell.
Yeah, I didn't know. Like I've never owned a business. Like we've flipped houses, but that's different.
Not really. Both of them, you have to do a set of books, and you had never seen a set of books.
Right. You're right.
So how were you? You were just had money coming in, gross receipts for the week, and then you would pay some vendors and pay some rent, and when the money ran out, you just let it ride.
Yeah, I mean, we.
So you didn't even know if you were making a profit, really.
Correct. Yeah. No, I definitely didn't. I don't know. I grew up like thinking, and I've always thought this, like, as long as I can pay my bills this month, I'm good. And I think he had a different expectation of how the bills should go, that we should be looking like months in advance. And I didn't grow up in a household like that or think like that. Yeah, and I don't really remember like how I got control of the money.
Okay, I'm not sure I understand where it was. I mean, I guess the time you lied to him was you knew that things were tight and that some bills weren't getting paid, and you just lied to him about that. Is that what you're telling me?
Correct, yes. And
that was for 2 months.
Yeah, and it ended up like being we couldn't catch back up. So now we're kind of facing bankruptcy, which is when we first got together, his ex-wife kind of took everything from him. And he's like, I don't ever want you to do this for me. Just promise you'll never like lie to me like this. And I don't consider it the same thing, but I guess it is in his eyes. And I can understand that, you know, I lied to him about money, and now we're in a really bad spot.
Okay. Well, I've got a different opinion about this. Yeah, obviously I'm not okay with you lying. Right. But he's freaking an irresponsible child in that he was no more involved in the management of the household than he was, and stood over the side, and then he's throwing grenades back because he doesn't like the way you did it. Listen, dude, step up and actually sit down with your wife and figure out how to run a freaking restaurant before both of you quit your jobs. He's as irresponsible as you are. Yeah. This ain't no angel sitting over on the side that somehow got taken to the cleaners by some girl buying Coach purses. That isn't what happened here. This is a guy showing up at a restaurant every day and is so freaking irresponsible he's not even involved in how the restaurant is being run. What's he doing? Cooking? And that's it? See, the line cook doesn't get to bitch if the place closes because the line cook isn't running it.
Yeah. I mean, he did ask me for it, like, twice or three times, and I was like, no, I got it. And I would get upset. I'm like, I can handle it, because I was just like very scared to tell him, because I didn't want this to happen. I didn't want him to believe me because I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you didn't. That's for sure. And you could have fixed the whole thing just by saying the truth and going, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm scared. We can't pay our bills. Help me. And that would have solved the whole thing. So I do agree with that. So your question to me was, how do you rebuild trust? How do you get through this? I don't know if you do, but if you do, it's with a marriage counselor. You guys desperately need to sit down with one. And part of the equation is you are doing a beautiful job of owning your screw-ups here, but he hadn't owned any of his, and I'm pretty frustrated with him. He's awfully self-righteous for an uninvolved, irresponsible guy standing around and watching a restaurant fall down around his ears, and he's too stupid to realize it's happening. I'm serious. That's not okay. So he needs to own his part of that too.
And he also needs to own that a lot of this reaction is because his ex-wife burned him. So that's, I'm not giving him a pass.
No.
But I am saying...
Not giving you a pass on lying either.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, but he's got to own the fact that this probably feels way worse than it actually is.
No, it's bad. They're about to file bankruptcy. They lost everything.
I know. But as far as her
both of you, I got to tell you, I mean, y'all both have been just... This whole thing was Crazy. The restaurant is the number one category of businesses that fail.
Right.
Almost all of them fail. That's how bad it is, okay? You guys did that, and you both quit your job.
Right.
And neither one of you know how to do a set of books or run a business or a restaurant. What were you guys thinking?
I don't know. We've closed it now. Actually, like in the process of moving it, we both had to get jobs again. And then we were working on the weekends here, but once we were, like, I was like,
this was doomed. This was doomed from the start.
Yeah.
You didn't have a chance because you guys didn't have the skill set to run it.
Right. No, I agree.
And so and you don't both quit your jobs. See, he was in on that decision. And this sets you guys up for failure. So I'm so sorry, honey. Now, the way you rebuild trust is that you guys get in a good marriage counselor together. You work through, you both own your parts. You put in place systems and processes going forward where he's involved in everything in the money. You're involved in everything in the money. We make all the decisions together in the money. And there's no surprises and no way that he has to trust you because all he has to do is trust himself because you're both involved, top to bottom. That's how Sharon became trusting of me after I lost everything doing stupid stuff. I didn't lie to her about it, but she had to trust my competence again, not my integrity. And it took a while. Buying or selling a home is a big deal, especially in a weird market like we're in right now. The clickbait headlines, all the crap on TikTok, all the stuff out there telling you what you're supposed to do, and none of it's real. Hey, we're going to take the latest trends and make them easy to understand with actual facts. Facts are your friends. Facts are good. Drama, not good. When making a financial decision like a home. Come on. Hey, we're here to make them easy to understand. The median home prices stayed steady last month at $441,000. That's the median home price in America right now. Average 15-year fixed also stayed steady, just under 6%, 5.95 last month. There's currently 1,082,520 homes on the market in the United States. That's a fact. That's the highest number since 2019, the best inventory we've had. Yet prices are not going down because demand has stayed steady. So demand is higher than supply, which if you know anything about basic 7th grade economics, that means the prices are going to go up, not down. And these median home prices have gone up a little bit, not a lot, but a little bit month over month, every month for the last 4 months. To learn more about the housing market trends and get some free tools, go to RamseySolutions.com/market. Click the link in the show notes if you're listening on a podcast or on YouTube. Casey's in Syracuse. Hi, Casey. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, thank you for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
So I currently own my own home, and I live in an area that's, I would say, just progressively getting worse. So I'm looking to move, and I'm just not sure the best way to go about my financial situation. I'm pretty much living paycheck to paycheck. Me and my significant other, we make good money, but we're not very good at saving money. And so I was thinking about taking as much money out of my 401k as I could to put as a down payment on a new home, but I still own the home that I live in. So I wasn't sure if I would be better off trying to take out, either using the money in my 401k to fix up my current home to then sell the home and use the money that I have from that sold home.
What is your current home worth today as it is?
I would say probably in the neighborhood of like $100,000 to $120,000.
What's wrong with it?
It's just old. It was built in the 1930s. Nothing's particularly
wrong with it. What would you fix up?
The roof is leaking in a spot, so I would have to fix the roof.
Mm-hmm.
The porch is pulling away from the house a little bit, so I would just redo the whole porch.
Okay.
And the upper half of the house is sided with like a cedar shake, which is just really worn and corroding, so I would probably
What do you
refi
owe
half
on
of
the house?
$45,000.
Okay. Just sell it as is.
Sell it as is. Okay.
$100,000 house with a porch repair, a little bit of that's old, a little bit of stain on the side of the cedar shake, and a small roof leak is not a big deal.
Yeah, I reached out to a couple contractors, and they're coming in with
You don't need a contractor. You don't have any money.
Yeah, it would be a loan I'd have to take out to get
No,
that.
if you go do that, you're not going to get your money back because the house value is not going to increase with the things you're talking about doing.
Okay.
So whatever money you put into it, you're throwing down the toilet.
Okay.
Sell it as is.
Okay.
Get a good real estate agent. Go to RamseySolutions.com. Get one of the Ramsey Trusted Real Estate agents. Come over and talk to you. And let's figure out what the thing will bring. Put it on the market as is.
Okay.
As is where is. I'm not doing repairs. That's the pricing. And if that means you price it at 95 instead of 105, whoop-de-doop-de, sell it. You're not keeping this thing anyway. It's a piece of crap. You're moving.
Right.
Okay, and when you move, you're going to put $40,000 or so in your pocket, right?
Yeah, I do have some other debt, so I
How
didn't
much
know
other
if-
debt do you have?
I have about $3,500 in a car loan and about $9,000 in a personal loan.
Okay, you clear that, and so then you're going to put more like, $25,000 in your pocket. What do you make?
I make $95,000 a year.
Way too much to be this broke.
I know. I have my significant other. When we live in the same household, he makes $110,000 a year. So yeah, we make plenty of money, and it is unfortunate we're as broke as we are.
Yeah.
Okay.
So sell the house and go rent something, and pay off your debts and start fresh, and let's get control of your money. And if you guys are going to act like you're married, try being married.
Okay.
If you're not going to be married, then don't be, trying to figure out how we're going to not be married and be prosperous, because all the data points that we have, all the research is showing that doesn't work. The people who build wealth are married people.
Yeah, that's kind of another thing on my list I'd like to get done is get married, but financially
You don't need any financially. You go down and get married.
That's right. Courthouse is open every day, except for federal holidays.
Call the preacher, sit down in his office.
Okay.
And by the way,
I
want to close the loop on the very first option you threw at us. You never use your 401k like a bank. You're going to get taxed big time on that. It's never an option. Don't do that to yourself. You don't need it, first of all, but secondly, it's a bad financial decision.
This house sucks. Get rid of the house. Your organization sucks. Get rid of that. Let's get organized. Get on an EveryDollar budget. Get started, and then make a decision if we're going to be married or if we're going to play like it. Because if you're going to play like it, the data says you're not going to win financially or relationally.
Okay.
These are actual statistics, okay, kid? I'm not just making this stuff up. That's what's happening out there. I'll give you an example. When we studied 10,167 millionaires, 82% of them said my spouse and I were on board with our long-term goals, working together to hit them, not trying to figure out who was going to buy the mustard. Is the mustard your job this week, or do I buy mustard? Who pays the light bill? Like with your roommate. That stuff doesn't work financially. Your careers don't accelerate. Your health does not accelerate. All of these things go all this research is called the marriage advantage research. You can look it up. It's not just Google marriage advantage. It'll start showing up. Men who are married, folks, different subject from her. Men who are married live on average 7 to 9 years longer than unmarried men, which would include men shacking up. Interesting. Women live an average of 4 to 5 years longer when they're married. I don't know why men get much more advantage. As Geloni says, he thinks women keep them from doing stupid stuff.
Oh, it's 100% what I was going to say.
Yeah,
they keep us from just, doing guy stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. Hang gliding. No, whatever it is. I don't know whatever it is.
Right.
Whatever it is. But yeah, that's they funny. You live longer. And there's a lot of possible hypothetical, physiological and spiritual reasons that you could lay out for that. But money also works. The net worth of married couples at 40 years old versus shacked up couples is like 6 times higher. And it's just because, we're not trying to, you got to decide, am I going to paint or am I going to get off the ladder? You got one foot in the boat, one in the dock. Boat's always leaving. And we're just not sure when. When are we going to get wet? When's our butt going to be in the lake? And you're just always looking over your shoulder, That can happen in marriage too, but there's a process legally and financially by which you get to keep half the stuff called divorce. And so the protections are there, but you folks say, I'm going to pay to renovate my boyfriend's house. Oh, you're about to lose your money. I'm going to co-sign so she can get a car because her parents won't. You're an idiot. No, you buy the only ladies you buy cars for are your wife. That's it. The only guys you renovate their house is called a husband. Jeez, you're gonna lose all your money doing this stuff, people. It's crazy, and people just act like this stuff doesn't matter. But all you gotta do is just do the trajectory on it out there, fast telescope it out there about 15, 20, 25 years, and you see the disastrous results. So, end of soapbox. Scripture of the day is Psalm 37, 23 and 24. The Lord makes firm the steps of the one who delights in him. Though he may stumble, he will not fall, for the Lord upholds him with his hand. Theodore Roosevelt said, the only man who never makes mistakes is the man who never does anything. Yeah, that's the truth. Yeah, and dogs don't chase parked cars. So you're never going to get criticized if you don't do anything. You can be rest assured. And as soon as you do anything, you can be rest assured some moron won't like it. All right, here we go. Rob is in Lexington, Kentucky. Hey, Rob, how can we help?
Hey, Mr. Ramsey. Thank you for having me today.
Sure. How can we help?
Long story short, it's been probably about 8 years since I've lived by myself. Ever since then, I've kind of took a little bit of a tailspin into debt a little bit, living paycheck to paycheck, just looking for some good advice. You're the right one and the perfect person.
So you mean you've been single for 8 years?
Undisclosed family situation. I was living with my child's mother. So we're just living separately on good terms, just living separately, though.
You weren't on good terms with what?
We're living separately on good terms.
Oh, okay. For 8 years.
Oh, I was living by myself, and now after 8 years. Now I'm living by myself. I'm sorry, I should explain that a little bit better.
Oh, so you were with her 8 years and the baby, and now you guys are broken up, and you're by yourself.
Well, I'm sorry, we're with each other, but I'm living by myself, though.
How are you with each other by yourself? I do not understand.
That's a whole nother situation on that one.
No, I mean, it's not logical. You're not making sense, dude. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. You can either be by yourself or you can be with someone. Which are you?
Yes, sir. That's a good point. I guess we're just together and living separately.
So you're dating or you're have a relationship, but you don't live in the same house.
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. I got it. Okay. Took me a minute. I'm sorry. I just didn't understand what you're saying. So now you got your own place and you got a kid over on the other side of town with your girlfriend. Okay. And you're trying, and what do you make, sir?
I have one full-time job and one part-time job, and together it's about $53,000.
Okay. How old are you?
39.
Okay, cool. You said that earlier. I apologize. Okay.
What is the full-time job that you're spending time on?
That one's $44,000 a year. That's the main job, the main focus.
What is it?
What do you do? What do you do for a living?
Forklift driving.
Okay.
Nothing special.
And what's the part-time job?
I work in retail, and that's they're not really offering much money there. That's my downfall right there.
Yeah, so retail, you're just standing on a floor shops trying to sell something?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Well, I want to bring this up really quick. You have a skill in driving that forklift, and my guess is there's better opportunity operating heavy machinery like that, much better pay per hour than doing a retail job. So I admire the fact that you're trying to make extra money, but you don't have as many hours, and you need to get as much work as you possibly can to start to bring in more income, and we're going to help you use that income to dig out of this mess.
There's a probably bigger mess than that, too. There's loans and cards, too.
Oh, I figured there was a lot of debt. Break that down.
Yeah. So I have those all added up, and it's not crazy yet, but it's getting crazy.
What's the amount?
The loans is about $5,500, and the cards is about $4,200.
100?
Yes, sir.
So $9,000, $10,000 gets you out of debt.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good news. All right. And so if you were to take a lot of overtime at your forklift job or work forklift for someone else on the hours you were spending at retail, what Ken is saying is you'd make twice as much as you're making at retail. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Because that is a skill, and whether it's forklift, skid steer, whatever it is, I mean, you can push the buttons and move that machinery around. And so I think that qualifies you right now, and you're willing to work. Those two things qualify you for a lot of positions in an area that there's a shortage of help, which is the trades in general, okay? There's a serious shortage of people who are willing to work and actually know how to do the work. That's pretty impressive. So that puts you in a better position then. You start making a little bit more money, and now we're going to, with your newfound independence, separate all of your finances very clearly. The only thing you owe is you need to make sure the baby's got food. Your job is to do the equivalent of child support over there. But above that, you're not paying for her stuff. You don't live there. The girlfriend's stuff. Okay? Okay.
I was almost crazy enough to get 2 full-time jobs.
Yeah, you're not, but yeah, just work all the time. But you're not paying for the girlfriend stuff. You're going to take care of the child.
Right.
But we're not buying her car. We're not paying her rent. Oh, her air conditioner. I'm sorry, that's her problem. Okay?
Right.
But your job is to make sure the child is cared for as the dad, and then you knock out this $10,000 worth of debt, and then but you're just going to get really, really organized and really systematized, where I think I hear, now you tell me if I'm wrong, but I think I hear you saying in between these sentences that for the last 8 or 9 years you've kind of been coasting.
Yes, sir. That's a great word and definition for that one, yes.
Okay. So all we're saying is you're ready to put it in gear, and we're encouraging you to do that. So drop it down into gear and punch it, baby. Let's get detailed on the stuff. We'll put you into EveryDollar. We'll pay for it and show you how to run the app, and jump into one of those free webinars we're doing on how to run the app and how to run your budget, and it'll walk you through step by step what to do. And you take every dollar that's coming in, you make every dollar behave, and we need 10 grand, and we're going to clear up the debt. Meanwhile, we're taking care of a baby. Meanwhile, we're going to start building our life. And so coasting is over. We're going out of neutral down into drive and kick it. Kick it. Squeal the tires, baby. Let's go.
I'm going to make a suggestion that may seem out of left field, Rob, but I think you are very lonely. And I'm not I'm not just talking about this relationship, which is kind of in limbo, but I think you need to spend what little bit of time you have not with that child. You need to get around some guys and maybe need some new friends, guys that are driven. They've got a vision for their life. They see 10, 20 years down the road.
A lot of really good churches in Lexington, Kentucky you could plug into.
Yeah, get around some dudes that have a vision for their life. I think you would do well. And that's not an insult to you. That's an encouragement to say, I sense that you're really, really lonely, and the status of this relationship is just kind of slowly beats you down. So I think that'd be a good move.
Yeah, get plugged in with some. You become who you hang around with. Yeah. So Ken, you're exactly right. The data is out there on that, and so be very selective and pick some men out that are who you want to become. Because that's what's going to happen. Right. That's what's going to happen. Yeah. And you can do a good place to find ththose kinds of guys is around a church, and go sit down with the pastor of that church and go, listen, I'm beginning to turn my life around. Here's what's going on. Can you help line me up with some guys that can mentor me, disciple me, and help me walk in some of these ways? Ken, I think that's a great observation. I think you nailed that. And so, that's again, very, very important. If you're going to lay out 4 or 5 things that cause people to be successful, who they run around with is one of the 4 or 5 things.
And many times those people, they can pull you out of this gravitational hold. He's just kind of roving around this girlfriend and that situation.
No, he already busted loose from the orbit.
I know, but
he's out there now.
There.
So that's a big move.
It's a huge.
But yeah, let's take that trajectory to the moon now.
Yeah. Get in the orbit of some people that are really doing something with their life, real intentional.
Very good suggestion. That puts this hour of the Ramsey Show in the books. We'll be back with you before you know it. In the meantime, remember, there's ultimately only one way to financial peace, and that's to walk daily with the Prince of Peace, Christ Jesus.